We have a new AFC South leader in the clubhouse right now. That's right, it's your Jacksonville Jaguars. Welcome into the Jag Bros. I'm one of your hosts, JT Raymond, alongside my two brothers, Jack and Joey. We completely dismantle the Titans 25-3. We're sitting there texting, reminding us that it's like, man, this feels like the Jaguars in the mid 2010s right now. This is like, if you're the Titans fans, like that is just awful. And on the other side, Jacksonville, you are surging. We've won three in a row, four out of our last five. How are we feeling, boys?
It feels great. I felt like we had this game handled after the first fumble on the return. I was a little scared at first on the first drive when we were letting up some of those bigger run plays without Eric Armstead and Trayvon Walker, but we got up early, so that allowed us to put the running to bed, and Cam Ward looked miserable. I mean, overthrows, holding on to the ball really long, ran him around, sacked him a bunch of times. It was a great time to be a Jaguar, and it was great to win a game where we didn't have to worry too much.
Oh, it is so great. It is Victory Monday, another Victory Monday for Jags fans. Man, it is a sweet time to be a Jags fan. 8-4. And I just want to pat ourselves on the back a little bit. I feel like we've been on fire too. The last three games, the three of us were 8-1. All of us called a double-digit victory. We just felt like coming out of that Arizona game where we were able to sneak out an overtime victory, even losing 4-0. You knew the Jags were going to want to clean it up. You knew they were going to want to make a statement, not just to Tennessee, and boy, did we make a statement to Tennessee, but also to the Colts, who we have coming up with a massive showdown in Jacksonville. So, hey, I'm just going to say it's a great time to be a Jags fan. It's a great time to follow along on the pod. Take 10 seconds. Help us out. We are in December, meaningful football. Hit subscribe on YouTube. Drop a comment. Drop a Duval on Apple Podcasts. Drop a 5-star rating and review. Drop a Duval there. We're going to give you a shout out. Woo, I am fired up today.
Number one in the AFC South. And if Denver could have lost yesterday, heck, we could be right there, number two overall in the entire AFC. We're right there, 3-0, feeling great. It really helps when you play some of these favorable teams, but we're still going to get the Titans again. We're still going to get the Jets, and we have a chance to sweep or at least break even with the Colts here in the next 2 weeks.
No, things are looking great with this schedule. I mean, we got the Colts here coming at home. This is a huge game, almost like a playoff game. I hope everyone in Jacksonville goes to this game. I really wanted to be there, but just couldn't work it out logistically to be there this weekend. But it's going to be rocking in Duval. They have no Sauce Gardner, no DeForest Buckner, two huge guys on their defense that they do not have. And then we are also struggling a little bit. It doesn't seem like we can keep our wide receiver core healthy. Parker Washington went down. Hopefully, it's nothing too serious. He'll be back hopefully soon. But BTJ came back, played well. Jakobi Meyers looking like wide receiver one right now. Things are looking very well. Broncos look very beatable. There's a chance you could go win out and possibly be the first team in the AFC.
Anything is possible right now in the AFC. I don't think we can get to the number one spot even if we win out. But the reality is you look across the AFC, and honestly, even if you peek over at the NFC, there's not a dominant team right now. The Chiefs have taken this massive step back. The Broncos, every single game is a close game. I mean, they only win by 1 point in overtime against the Commanders. We do play the Broncos here in a couple weeks. The Patriots have Drake May as quarterback, who, yes, has looked great, but he's only in his second year, and you don't know how he's going to respond in playoff pressure. It's not like he had a ton of big game experience at UNC as well, so I don't know. You don't know. And you're exactly where you want to be as the Jaguars. You're 8-4, first in your division. You've got this game against the Colts where the Jags have everything trending in the right direction and the Colts don't. The Colts have a brutal end of the season. They've got some major injuries. They've lost multiple games after starting so hot, and the Jags are on fire.
Yeah, we do seem to be peaking at the right time, or at least we're peaking in December. Hopefully we can continue to peak. But I also want to say, we've also broken down the last three games. All three of these games were very advantageous matchups for us. We had the ability to be able to run the ball and run the ball effectively. They did not have, outside of the Chargers, have elite wide receiver options, and they did not have some elite pass rushers. So all of those things were like signs that say like, okay, Jacksonville should win this. But look, in years past and times past, these are the games that Jacksonville loses. So to like every Jaguar fan, I mean, you're a 6-point favorite on the road against Tennessee, and you're like, oh man, I feel like we're gonna lose. Even though the only way Tennessee's won all year was the most fluky of fluke wins and plays, where I think Cam Ward throws a pick, he then fumbles the ball. The defender for the Cardinals fumbles the ball, and it gets kicked into the end zone, and then the other team score, and then the Titans score the touchdown. Like it's just craziness. So yeah, the Titans are horrible. They're trash. They look hopeless. There's like no talent anywhere on that team. So it's great to see that we got that win.
Titans are so bad. Yeah, JT, when you texted, they're like the 2010s. Was it Dave? What's his name?
Dave Caldwell, aka new general manager of the Florida Gators.
Yeah, Dave Caldwell Jags, where it just feels like there's no talent. There's not a whole lot of much to build on or be excited for the Titans. It's not like you can take a ton away in terms of execution. You beat a very just bad team. But here's what I like. And here's where if the Jags bring this on Sunday, I feel so good about us taking down the Colts right now. It's the intensity. It's the fire. I mean, even the punter is playing with more fire and more intensity than the Titans. The Jags came in, they punched the Titans in the mouth over and over and over again, and we actually weren't even able to run the ball that well, which has been our secret sauce on offense. We just out-physicaled them, especially on defense. And yeah, Joey, you mentioned it. That first drive looked a little ugly. You know, we gave up 70 yards, 4 first downs, 3 points, the only points of the game. You know what we gave up after that first drive? 0 points, 7 first downs, and just barely over 100 yards of total offense. Total domination. We got 3 turnovers on down, 3 sacks. Josh Hines-Allen was unleashed again. The intensity for the Jags was at a whole nother level. And hopefully, you're right, JD, hopefully peaking at that right time because we're playing meaningful football, meaningful Jacksonville Jaguars football in December. And man, it's great to be back in that.
Well, let's dive into the actual game. And it's a weird game because Jacksonville ended up taking a lead after falling down 3-0. They ended up leading 18-3 at half, and then we scored a quick touchdown in the third quarter, and we just pretty much saw the game out. And so, like, statistically, some of these stat lines aren't great, but it was never like the game was in question. You never thought the Titans were going to score even 10 points watching that game. But the stars that you would want to see emerge played well. Brenton Strange, 3 for 45 and a touchdown. Best player, Jakobi Meyers, 6 for 90 and a touchdown. Trevor had one of his better games, 16 of 27, 229 and a touchdown. We'd start with the passing game. What did you like, or what was there anything that was concerning about how we played offensively?
Well, it was definitely obvious that the Titans were going to take away the run. They wanted Trevor to throw the ball, and you could see that there were wide open plays down the field.
Yes.
It was one of the better deep throw games for Trevor. Loved the blocking that BTJ did, freeing up Jakobi for that huge play. He had another one where he hit Austin Trammell right in the hands. And, just heard now that Austin Trammell's actually been waived. So shows you if you drop the ball now, you'll get cut.
Or potentially, I mean, who knows? Maybe BTJ was benched in, quote unquote injury. That block was huge just because the question's been about physicality, and for him to sprint down the field 40 to 50 yards and level a guy, that I think bought back a lot of trust for the Jags.
It's funny. We were just talking offline about Trammell getting cut. Feel sorry for him, but that's the type of thing we were talking about. It almost feels like Jacksonville in the last 9 months, just whatever Jacksonville Twitter has been like clamoring for, our organization ends up doing. Right? Like, how classic is it that your 4th or 5th wide receiver drops the ball? It's like, why is he even on the team? Just cut him. And then, like, on Monday after the game, he gets cut. You've been clamoring for in October a wide receiver in a corner, and what do? We go get a wide receiver in a corner, and we get the one corner that all the fans hate, at least the contract with Campbell, off the team. It's just like they're doing everything to appease the fan base, especially on Twitter, but it's actually working.
The last regime was always like, we are smarter than you. Shut up,
Yes.
fans. You have no idea what you're talking
Yep.
about. And this regime's like, hey, actually, these are some good ideas. We need to listen to some of these people because they actually love this team. They watch us play every single day for years on end. They know what is going to work here. And guess what? It's working. We aren't a dumb fan base that knows nothing. We actually know what's good for this team. And so far, mostly everything has worked out.
Good work, Jags fans. Man, everything is beautiful. And yes, JT, to the passing attack was great. And you've got to give so much credit to Jakobi Meyers. He has been the perfect fit. He has been I'm just to say he's been the best trade in the NFL in terms of the middle of the season, especially when you look at the Colts making that all-in move and Sauce Gardner getting hurt. That is extremely painful. Okay, the Cowboys did have a nice move with Quinn and Williams, but Jakobi Meyers.
They have a ton for that, though.
Yes, exactly. And Jakobi Meyers, 0 drops for us in Sunday's game. He was perfect every single time that Trevor targeted him. He had a catch, 6 targets, 6 catches, 90 yards, and a touchdown. A great fantasy day. And I loved on that touchdown the concentration. If you zoom in and watch that replay, he catches the ball. The defender swipes and it kind of bobbles a little bit, and then he catches it a second time, which is so tough to do. He's got a concentration. He's got an elite skill, which is catching the ball, and that's been the Jags' problem all season. And it kind of feels like, other than Trammell, it's kind of converted to everyone else, where the Jags have not had a dropping problem since picking up Meyers. So you could not ask for a better fit.
It helps when you quit throwing the ball to De'Ami Brown and Brian Thomas Jr.'s been sidelined.
I totally forgot that we even had De'Ami Brown until we were in a group text with our dad and about the Commanders. And he was like, man, good thing they don't have De'Ami Brown anymore. It's like, oh, yeah, I forgot we had him either.
A weird disease that drops. It's something that once it hits a team, it can be contagious where players that don't normally drop it do. But all of a sudden you have a player that just never drops it. It lifts the other players and makes them want to play stronger. So I've absolutely loved having Jakobi Meyers. I think we need to re-sign him ASAP. Definitely want him to continue to be a Jaguar for another couple years for sure.
Meyers was big. Strange, you already mentioned, JT. He was big. In fact, he had his longest career NFL touchdown. So that was nice to see. He's been having a breakout just entire year. You take out the injury games, he has been one of the best tight ends in the game, not just in receiving, but in blocking as well. And then, man, yeah, BTJ being back. Coach Cohen gave him that shout out, that big 3rd down catch over the middle. Hey, that was nice to see. So I'm just saying the Jags are going up against the Colts. They don't have Sauce Gardner. BTJ burnt the Colts multiple times. In fact, that viral meme clip where BTJ is sprinting down the right sideline and the guy dives full Superman, that was against the Colts. So I don't know, maybe a BTJ breakout game coming up on Sunday. How awesome would that be? Especially, it's going to be important with Parker Washington potentially being out Sunday. I don't know yet, and I don't know that we know yet just the level of injury for Parker Washington. But, man, you do hate to see that because he's had such a nice season so far.
Yeah, the offense was great, and the O-line did very well for how beat up it was. Cole Van Lannon moving all over the place. He's played right tackle, left tackle, right guard. He has been a key player in this. And then Wyatt Milam also looked very good, getting some reps at right guard. So adding this depth, I mean, I remember so much of the old Jags team where if you lost a starter, the drop-off was enormous. Like, we had no chance of winning the game if one of our starters was out. Now we have multiple starters out, and our backup people are playing just as hard, very little drop-off, and we're still winning games with them.
Speaking of listening to Jags Twitter, I think Cohen and Trevor have been listening to the Jag Bros because that's exactly who they highlight in their press conference as well. Both of them praised Cole Van Lannon a ton. Coach Cohen praised Wyatt Milam, being a rookie, first real major action at a position they technically never started at. And both of them doing well. Look, it wasn't clean or necessarily pretty. The fourth quarter got sloppy. I think we only had a handful of yards in the entire fourth quarter. but they got the job done when it mattered. And speaking of just getting the job done, can we give a major hats off, round of applause, big Duval to the Jags defense? After that first drive, that was one of the best games, right up there with what they did to the Chargers in Jacksonville. It was just fantastic at every level what the Jags defense was able to do. And we talked about it. It's about getting after Cam Ward. This offense for the Titans is dysfunctional. Get after him, get in his head, get QB hits, get sacks, get tackles for losses. And the Jags D did just that.
And don't look now, but we have 4 sacks by Josh Hines-Allen since you tweeted that lost poster, Joey, there a few weeks ago. A sack against the Chargers, a sack against the Arizona, and now 2 sacks against Tennessee. He played great, and we are getting healthier. Having Jourdan Lewis is huge. That was great to see him play well and get as many snaps as he got.
Josh Hines-Allen has played very well in these last few games. Granted, they've been easier offensive line, but I mean, he bullied J.C. Latham. I watched him push him right into Cam Ward. I saw him in the backfield constantly. Love seeing that. Dennis Gardeck has also been a very good extra edge guy with Trayvon Walker being out. I call him defensive Trevor Lawrence with all that hair. Love this long blonde hair that we have with Dewey, Dennis, and Trevor. It seems to be kind of the calling card right now for the Jaguars. This team's playing well. The defense of line's been great. Secondary is doing well, starting to get healthy. Eric Murray came off of the IR. He wasn't quite ready to play. Hopefully he's ready by the Colts. It could be very nice to see this defense get fully healthy very soon.
Yeah, speaking of Josh Hines-Allen, I think one of my favorite plays was right there in the second quarter. It was second down. The Titans fumble the ball, and the ball actually hits Josh Hines-Allen in the hands, and he just misses the fumble recovery. Well, guess what? You know what he does the very next play? He goes and gets that sack, forces the Titans punt, a massive sack on third down. In fact, the defense as a whole was just so clutch on big downs. The Titans went only 2 for 12 on third down, less than 20% conversion, and then 1 for 4 on fourth down, a 25% conversion on fourth down. And so when it was the big downs, third and fourth down, the Jags defense played their best ball, getting after Cam Ward. Yes, 3 tackles for loss, 2 sacks, 3 quarterback hits for Josh Hines-Allen. He had one of those defensive game ball, one of those vintage Josh Hines-Allen game, and hopefully that just means he is gearing up for his best football into December and, let's just say it, into January with playoff football.
It's funny. I don't have a lot more because the Titans were just bad. The Jacksonville shut it down in the second half. There's not a lot that we could take from. In fact, I think they just kind of saw the game through, like I said earlier, to the end of the game, and the Titans were obligatory to let that happen.
100%. I mean, not a ton more to add for me as well, other than special teams. You know, they were able to get that big fumble that you talked about earlier, Joey, on the kickoff return. That really just felt like it sealed momentum. The Jags go and they get that touchdown. They're up 14-3, and it just felt like the game was over at that point as well. Of course, there was a lot of, for one, just an insane amount of penalties. 10 penalties on the Titans, 13 for the Jags. 23 penalties is crazy, especially for how many were on punts and stuff like that. But Logan Cook is a Jags legend after defending his teammate, going up and getting that Titans guy, and that Titans guy tries to throw him to the ground and just like, hey, get off me, son. Like, he can't even move a punter. That's how bad the Titans were. Like, if you lose a fight to the punter, yeah, I mean, it's rough times in Tennessee right now.
I thought this was actually very poorly officiated game. A lot of our penalties were very ticky-tacky, if not even penalties. I've been really frustrated, honestly, with the refereeing of this whole year. It's kind of been piss poor. I turn on other games, watching non-PI calls called. It looked like the Texans kicked a extra point and missed, and they called it good. Like,
that was bizarre.
It's getting really bad for the officiating. The NFL really needs to do something to fix this, and in a hurry. But luckily we overcame it. The Titans didn't have anything to threaten us with. Usually when you have that many penalties, it's a lot closer, but the Titans stink so much that it doesn't really matter. So we'll just have to see how it goes. Luckily, next game's at home. We've played very well at home. Our 2 games where we almost got no penalties have been at home. So hopefully we lock down the bank and play great.
Let's do it.
There you go. Let's lock down the bank. Jags with a just incredible, a sweet victory. It's always so sweet to beat your rivals and to beat them down, especially for JT. You mentioned it earlier. It's just been a rough weekend for Gator fans. Obviously, an abysmal weekend for Seminole fans, with a lot of Jaguars fans. If you cheer for a college football team or one of those others. And so for the Jags to make that statement on Sunday, to have all this intensity, all this excitement going into this Sunday in Jacksonville. I already said, I'm going to say it again, hit subscribe because we're going to have a big game preview episode, Jags versus Colts. In the bank right now, the spread keeps going back and forth, so they're predicting a very, very close game. Hopefully a Jags victory, 9-4. Then you look into, hopefully an easy game against the Jets at home as well. Man, things are trending in the right direction, and it's a great, great time to be a Jags fan, to be celebrating Victory Monday, and to end it off this way. Dude.